Buongiorno. Ciao, Alfred. Ciao, everyone. Good
Ciao.
morning and buona domenica. We are coming to you live. I'm coming from the US. One last week of being a bachelor, Alfredo, because I'll be back in Sicily by the time we uh, do the next show. We've got lots to talk about, including answering some of your questions that came in online. Lots of going on in Sicily. It's Carnivale, right? Leading up to Ash Wednesday, in fact, Tuesday next week. And what does that mean? That means there's all types of parties going on. The big ones, of course, Acciariale, Shaka has a big one, but I saw every little town has some kind of special activity going on for this period.
And Acciariale was voted the number one carnivale town in all of Sicily. It was in that they had a big poll about it. And it's been mobbed packed this year. What they did was they put a fence around the whole place, believe it or not. And they're charging a €10 admission for people coming here, except for the residents of Acciariale. Okay. And of course, Sicilians being you know, what they are, besides like gawking over the spectacular floats, the big complaint all week was the fact that there are only two changing stations for the babies, when you have to go, change a diaper. And that actually made the front page of the paper. People
Oh
wanted
my
to know.
gosh.
Yeah. Could you imagine
Anyway,
that?
listen, I've had a terrific time here in the United States visiting with friends and went to North Carolina. And I want to give a big shout out to someone, Sally Calora, who did an interview with me in Waltham. And we ended up having so much to talk about that we did a 1 hour show. And the link is not available yet, but I'm going to post that link pretty soon. But I want to tell you guys the funniest thing that she started out the show with a shout out. And the shout out went to Alfred Zappala because you were on her show 20 years ago. So I want to give a shout out to her. And look at this. This is a surprise. This is new to Alfred. I haven't even told him this. Look at what you got, Alf. An apron, Alfred, an
Wow, that's
Italian cook in
great.
Sicily. Isn't that beautiful with
Look at
the
that.
Italian flag? And
Thank you,
I
Sally.
also
Thank
got
you very
one.
much. And I
And I
remember
also
you very fondly. Wow.
Yep. And then tomorrow I'm going to go with her and a Sicilian born in Castellamare del Golfo and now lives in Massachusetts and has several shops, and we're going to feature them. So big shout out to them.
Wow. That was very nice of you, Sally. Thank you very much. I'll wear it. I'll wear it with a lot of pride. And I noticed when you hung it up, I can probably go commando if I wanted to.
So we got to figure out our next dish that we're going to cook with, right? Because we have a lot of cooking videos on our channel as well. Listen, Al, I want to just mention that did you know that the Odyssey, the rendition of the Odyssey by Christopher Nolan, is going to be shot in Sicily?
Well, I hope so, but they're already getting a lot of grief over here. They already put out some publicity shots of Matt Damon, who's playing Ulysses, except he's festooned in a Roman helmet. It's not authentic. So already they're going to be picking the bones off of this guy. I mean, when you talk about the Ulysses, folks in Italy are kind of like experts about that. All right. So I'm just
Mhm.
hoping that it's a little bit somewhat, I don't know what, accurate,
Authentic,
authentic,
authentic.
right?
So there, the majority of the video of the film is being shot in Favignana, which is over there on the
Hmm.
west coast in the Agadir Islands and also the Aeolian Islands. So I think that's great publicity for Sicily. Good publicity, we hope. And over the years we've had, we had the White Lotus and so forth. So really, Sicily is gaining a name and earning a name as a good destination to shoot films. So that's good news.
Are they not coming to actually to Trezza? I mean, that's after all where
Ah,
the
right?
Ciclope. Yeah, I mean, he's the guy. He captured him over here, and he brought him up to Mount Etna. So I wonder what are they going to use for Mount Etna and for the
Wouldn't
that
it
doesn't
be a
make sense.
nice surprise if they came to Acitrezza and shot it right here? Because of course that's where the one-eyed Cyclops hurled the rocks right
Yeah,
from Mount
yeah,
Etna.
that's kind of
Anyway,
interesting what you're coming here, and I bet you that movie will be kind of like The Gladiator or one of those famous historical movies if they do it right now. Christopher Nolan is a good director, so hopefully it'll
yeah,
be okay.
I'm
I
excited
agree.
for that. All right. So, Al, we get a lot of emails from people, a lot of questions from people, and I welcome anyone watching us live now, or if you have any questions on the comments below. People, come to Sicily for the first time, they have a good time, they tour the island, and then, the Sicily bug bites them. And a lot of people want to go back to Sicily for an extended time. And I recently received at least 3 emails from people saying, "Hey, what's a good base? What's a good place to base ourselves in for an elongated times?" And I think about this question in terms of also me living here and what are the important things for me in Sicily. And certainly walking distance from shops, walking distance from supermarkets or cafes is a very important thing for me. We're very fortunate, Alfred, you and I, that we are, for me at least, walking distance from the beach and walking distance from several other things. But I think when you're looking, I think one of the things you should look at is whether it's walking distance from those things, because you don't want to be getting in your car and finding parking and so forth all the time. What are some of the things that you look for, Alfred?
First of all, what do you like? I mean, do you like the big city? Are you descendant from the big city? Do you like the country? I think that's the first thing you have to do. And the second thing you have to do is you really have to research it. You have to research several towns and kind of like whittle it down. As William James once said, the essence of genius is knowing what to eliminate. So what you want to do is, you want to prepare. I mean, some people want to go horseback riding and paragliding. Other people want to go trekking. There's a million lights and things to do over here, depending on the year it is. So just make sure that, uh, you know, the town that you're going to pick has things that you really enjoy to do. And also from a cultural perspective, in my view anyways, there's a vast difference between the East Coast and the West Coast.
Yeah.
So I think that's another a criterion that you ought to use before you make your selection.
Yeah. And I think it's very important that I'm not talking about coming and living here, although some of you may be that type. And, we have someone in our community and one of our dear and one of our oldest friends, Jody DeLuca, who I think did due diligence because when she came here, she went to different spots, tried out different spots, understood, in by way of elimination that some place was good for her, some place was not. So and then finally she settled on Istica, which is a beautiful little town that I'm hoping very soon we'll visit. But very important to do things like she did her homework. Now, Jody DeLuca also has her dual citizenship, and so she is now living here. But I'm more referring to people who want to come 2 or 3 months. And I know we have Denise Dolce here, who came recently to Sicily, and she settled in places where it was off season, and that's also a very important thing to consider. Off season. What does off season mean? That means December, January, February, even March are off season places, and some places can feel very desolate and very empty because there's no tourists. It's only locals, and the locals, unfortunately, are dwindling. You go to places like Taormina, you know, it could be great as well. Not a lot of tourists, only mostly locals. Even Ortigia, even some of these towns like Shepaloo. We had one of our clients who came in December, and he stayed in Shepaloo, and he talked about like it being an empty town. So it's really important to consider also when you're coming to Sicily to stay, let's say 1, 2, or the 3 months that's allowed for non-EU residents. Um, Certainly, there are things to do all year long. February we had the festival of San Agata, we have Carnivale now, but those are select days. So I would encourage people to also consider the months that you are coming. And also in that, the temperatures. If you are not a fan of hot, 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 don't come July, August, those type of months.
Actually, there's a couple of cautionary things I would like to throw out there very briefly. The first one is be very cognizant if you're going to stay here for quote unquote 3 months, that you do your calendar counting, because it's not, 1 month is 30 days, the other one's 31, and then the other one's 31. It's 90 days. You have to be out of the EU countries in 90 days. Now, they have online a very cool app. It's called the Schengen Calculator. It's an application that you put in when you're arriving, and it'll tell you that you have to be out of town by that. And the second thing is, a lot of people, and this one was very ominous. I just got this from a client this week. He wants to come here for 3 months, and he wants to sign a lease. No, he wants to sign a lease for a year. So he'll kind of do the Schengen shuffle. Stay here 180 days, leave 180 days, stay here another 190 days, 90 days and 90 days, excuse me. And of course, in order to sign a lease, you have to have a codice fiscale, a fiscal code. That's one of the requirements that you have to have.
Mm-hmm.
So this fellow lives in Washington, D.C. The Washington, D.C. is his consulate. He downloaded the application, sent it to Washington, and they sent him back an email saying, sorry, we no longer are doing fiscal codes from here. If you need a fiscal code, when you go to Italy, you have to get it there. Now, that's a very ominous thing. So I need you, if you're planning on coming here and you got to execute any type of legal document, a lease, or so forth, check, as they say, subito, what the story is with your consulate, because these consulates they're now full-blown fiefdoms. Okay, what's good for one consulate is different with another consulate. So I need you to check that really carefully before you do anything, and then you can't enter into that contract that you've flown all the way over here to do.
Now, people can do that rental, or, there's a lot of Airbnbs that do a elongated thing. And for that, you probably will not need a codice fiscale. But if you are renting, and to the point of renting, Alfred, I would caution people not to go too remote. Obviously, things that are more remote and away from cities and away from, activity, and also in the country, in the island a little bit more will be cheaper. But I would caution, unless that's what you want to do and be completely uh, isolated. I want to Jody says, as a base town, and if you want to travel around without a car, make sure there are train and bus stations to get out to explore. I think that is excellent advice. And I want to mention one more thing, email that I got from someone, that they came to me sort of as uh, please help. I found a place near one of the markets in Palermo, and it's great during the day. It's very robust, but at night they're all partying till late at night. Those are some of the things, especially in the city, to consider. If you're going to be in the city, remember that things in Europe, things in Italy, things in Sicily the nightlife doesn't start till like 10 and 11 and can go on to 4 and 5. And, I think for the majority of our audience goes to bed early. So that's a minor, but a major consideration. So this person came to me and said, please help. can you recommend something that's safe and it's sort of a more quiet neighborhood?
You know, Esther, the number one thing that I tell clients, okay, that want to come here for an extended period, I don't talk about the Pontificio, I don't talk about the market. I do talk about the buses and I do talk about the trains, but the number one thing is check out where the hospitals are, okay? Because over the years, and you know it, we've made trips, a lot of them, to a hospital for an unforeseen physical condition. So make sure you know wherever you're going to be, is there a hospital and is it any good? That's what I want to throw out there as well.
Alfredo, the red hat is a bad look. I think it's a great look. I love the hat you have on now. I think you're
Who said that?
styling with that hat. I thought, first of all, I thought it was that was a compliment, and then I thought it was a bad hat. ASS. Festivals are a
Wait a
great
minute, wait a
thing
minute.
to
What did he
experience.
say about
I
my hat?
love
He
that
didn't
hat.
like, wait a minute.
Huh?
The reason I wore my red hat today is because I have my red rimmed glasses on because I'm styling. Don't you understand that? I'm
I
styling.
think
You
you're,
must be
listen,
colorblind.
listen. I think you and your hat are always styling. All right, people seem to like the advice. I want to ask you guys to ask us questions. Oh, Denise said I used the Shenyang calculator. Very
There
cool,
you go,
very
Denise.
helpful.
Bravo. She's
Bravo.
adorable.
Is April busy in Catania for Pascha, and is it off season? Um, I'll tell you, our touring season, we do tours all year round, but our touring season starts, our, heavy scheduled touring starts early in April, and people, because the weather is starting to be nicer. Easter is a beautiful time to be in Sicily. So yes, it does get busy, but not as busy as it will get in perhaps May and June, July, and of course August.
Esther, if they want to go swimming, don't have them come in April. It's not a good
Yeah.
month to come in April. Matter of fact, I wouldn't come until the second, almost the last week of May, the beginning of June. If you, and some people just want the water sports, so to speak. April's not a good month, you know. It's just, in my opinion, I would say come later. And if
Well,
you
if
don't
they
like,
don't
if you
want,
like hot, if you like the beaches, then by all means come in July and August because it's hot here.
yeah, but Al, April, there's not a lot of tourists. It's
Yeah,
not too hot.
yeah.
People who usually come with us in April say, wow, I really picked a good month. It's not too
No,
busy, not too hot. I
right,
think April is a great month to visit,
right.
especially
It's so
Sicily.
long as you don't want to go swimming, is what I'm saying. If you want to go to the beach, it's not a good month in my view. The rest of the time, I agree with you.
Listen, I want to give another shout out to my high school friend, Kara. She knows how much I love hats. And so check out the hat she got me.
That is a very good hat on your head, Bunster. What does it
Thanks,
say on
honey.
it? I can't make it
I
out.
know it's look,
Oh, spade, ace of spades.
yep. Listen, I'm full of surprises today, huh? For you guys
That's
watching this live, Alfred
unbelievable.
didn't know I was doing any of this. Isn't that funny?
You did great. That's great.
Uh, Easter is more celebrated in Sicily than Christmas. It all depends if you want to participate in Holy Week festivities, which are so beautiful in Sicily. Be cautionary advice too, that Easter, we're talking a holiday, and some things will be closed. Same thing with Christmas. You're talking about a lot of hotels and a lot of restaurants in the touristy places, especially after New Year's Eve, boom, they're closed. Some of them even close in November.
What I was going to say about that is there's an extra day holiday for the Easter holiday because we have Little Easter on the following Monday. Uh, the saying is that Easter is for your family and then Monday is for your friends. So,
When
people
that's
are,
Cuesta.
are out and about both those days. And don't forget also, the churches are mobbed for Easter Sunday. Boy, I went to a couple of years in a row. I went to actually the alley at the Duomo over there, and it was just unbelievable how
Beautiful.
beautiful the ceremony is. And of course, you can munch on the Columba cake, which is a great thing. It's like a panettone, except it's in the shape of a dove, and it has all sorts of interesting stuff on it. So it's a very festive time.
Mhm.
It's a great time for that type of cultural stuff, boy, by all means. And don't forget one more thingy, the Good Friday processions that you have in Shaka. I believe it's Shaka, but over here, the one I really have gone several times is the one in Anna. Holy smokes, it's great.
I was there last year for 3 weeks in April. I had a wonderful weather and it wasn't too crowded. Exactly, Denise. Um, Alfred, that's a good point. You know, the Good Friday
Yeah.
celebrations, the Ash Wednesday celebrations, very beautiful, very solemn. Of course, we have lots of videos on our channel on all of those. I think we have at least two or three called Easter in Sicily, one for sure, solely dedicated to the Good Friday solemn celebration
Yeah.
in Enna. Thank you, Peter Scipiletti. Everyone, please hit the like button, grazie. And that really, really does help us. Believe it or not, even your comments and everything help us. So, Alfred, so what did, first of all, congratulations surviving another 2 weeks by yourself. And you're going, yay, quiet. It's been quiet. It's been quiet.
It's been 19 days, Esther. It hasn't been 2 weeks. It's been more than 19 days. It's okay.
Well,
It's
it'll
fun.
be
I enjoy
19
my
days
listen.
when I get home.
I've been working a lot with Massimo doing a variety of tasks that we haven't been able to do, frankly. And I've been doing a little bit more writing online, as you know. But the thing is, several people, especially my kids, say, "Hey, now that Esther's not around to cook, what have you been eating every day? Are you just like?" Well, about a year ago, I kind of stopped eating uh, cold meat. I'll have it if it's stuck in something, but I haven't purchased cold meats for myself to eat, which is, in the States, that was always a go-to thing. You have a sub sandwich or something like that. But over here, I try to limit now as I'm getting older, how much protein am I having, how much carbs am I having, etc. So for this week, I start off real strong and then I kind of fizzle out at the end of the week. Like I usually have a roasted chicken. Okay. I get a whole roasted chicken for like, I guess it's €8. They're delicious. But you can't eat one person can't eat a whole roasted chicken at once, right? So I have half of it. I save the other half, and then I make 3 days later. I'll make a nice chicken soup with it, which is just great. I like having a scacciata. Of course, there are all different types of scacciatas, but I like the one with the spinach in it, and I like the one with the cheese in it. I have pasta only 1 day a week. Now, Esther was nice enough before she left. She made a big container full of macaroni and one of her sauces for it. So I kind of parceled it out. I had that. Today, Sunday, I made baked rice. I made my own sauce and with rice, and I put cheese on it, mozzarella cheese on it, and I put it in the after it was all prepped and so forth. Put it in the toaster hour for like 45 minutes, and it was great. And I made enough to have two portions of it. So by that time, I figure, well, Esther will be home by the weekend. But in the meantime, I stocked up stuff for her because she likes fish. So I have a frozen lobster there. We have a big, nice arata fish there for her. We have plenty of tuna fish because she likes tuna fish. So when she comes home, then we're going to be going. Oh, shrimp,
Thanks, honey.
frozen shrimp. Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff for you here. So
Awesome.
that's what
Thanks.
we do. Yeah.
Thank you, honey. Wait a sec. Look at this. Helen. Nana's World, I think you can go to Sicily any time of the year. There's always lots to do. Even going to the grocery store is an adventure. And
Yeah.
Helen came on one of our tours and also stayed for a longer here. And we love to hear that. And we had, our friends Tom and Karen come with us at New Year's Eve, and then they
Yeah,
stayed for a few weeks. And, one day they went grocery shopping and went to get coffee. Another day, maybe they didn't leave the house because it was
yeah.
bad weather. And so there's always something to do. Certainly, Jody's advice about being close to public transportation, for me, being walking distance from things that we uh, want to see, is very important. You know who's here? We
Cool.
have Sally Calora. Sally, you are going to
Hey,
have to
Sally.
rewind this video to the very beginning, because I showed your apron that you gave us, and we spoke about the show, and we spoke about you. So, Sally, nice to see you on the live. Ooh,
Yeah, so I'm gonna
and
glue those things in your ear next year. What's the matter? Did your ears shrink?
they're just, I don't know what it is. I don't know. We have lots of people here. Good morning from East Freda. Now, there's something here. Uh, we spent Holy Week in Eastern Sicily last year, Good Friday in Taormina, where they have an incredible procession. It was a wonderful time to be there for sure. Easter and really all the holidays are so beautiful. People want to know about the Sicilian Project. That's our nonprofit. We have a class going on right now in Achicatana, and I'm so looking forward to being back with the kids next Saturday. But Alfred, we've got an adult class, which is the first. This last year was the first year that we did it in Canicati. This is the first year we're doing it in Achicatana. And by the way, these classes are free for Sicilians, and it's paid for thanks to your generosity, of donating to the Sicilian Project. .com. The Sicilian Project.com is our nonprofit. And we have a great meet and greet that Alfred will host April 17th. If you're in the Massachusetts area, New Hampshire, or anywhere in the area, and you have a free time, April 17th, 4 to 7 p.m. at Salvatore's in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And Al, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Well, the first thing I want to say is our Sicilian project this year, we broke 1,900 students. Since we started 12, 13 years ago, we have provided free education to 1,900 students, thanks to your generosity. There are many people that are listening to me today that are our regulars that always chip in and donate $50, $100, $300, etc. Matter of fact, our president advised me this week that two people, for the first time in our history, we got an unsolicited donation of $1,000. That's just unbelievable. That almost pays for one entire class. The adults are loving it. I'm telling you, they're coming in. I'm giving them, I don't want to say I'm giving them homework, but I say, why don't you do this for next week? And they're coming in and they're doing it. Excuse me. The most important thing with these adults is I have three, not three, not three. This is how you do it in Italy. Three, with the fingers up there, kindergarten teachers. So our stuff, they can integrate with their little kids, which is hugely important. The other thing, now, she mentioned it, that's a fundraiser for the Sicilian Project, obviously. If you come, it'll cost $30 to come in. It's going to be, and I guess I can announce this today. My brother Tommy, from the Sicilian Corner, etc., he's going to be the master of ceremonies. He's going to talk, and
That's
then
going
I'm
to
going
be
to give it.
so
Yeah,
dangerous with the two of you.
it'll be fun. And we have a nice spread that we put out, thanks to Micah Greekla from Salvatore's restaurant. But if you go online and you simply buy one of our raffle tickets, we're having a 60-40 raffle ticket. They're $50. Just show your receipt, you'll get in for free. So say you and your wife want to come, that's be 30 and 30, that's 60. Go buy a raffle ticket, be $50, you can come in. There'll be a cash bar there as well. Salvatore's the restaurant is a great place. So far, we have over 65 or 70 people that'll be there. So many of the people who are on the chat, for example, that you know only by communication here, they'll be there. So hope to
That's going to be
see you. I
so
know
much
Joe
fun.
Render's going to be there. Pardon me?
Yeah, that's
B
going to be
Green's
so
going to
much fun.
be there. Dawn's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of our friends
Sally
that.
said she was going to be there. Len,
Who? Yeah.
Len Marcuso. Listen, this is a great question. We'll be
Hank
there in a few
Scotty.
weeks. We'll be there in a few weeks. How's the weather? We're trying to figure out what to pack already. So you're going to be there in a few weeks. That means March. Usually March is pretty good because it starts getting a little bit warmer. The rainy season of perhaps February has slowed down a little bit. Um, so March, April, we're talking, I would say in the 50s at night, Al, and then 60s, 70s. I just did a Zoom call with one of our first families that we're doing a private tour with in April. And, I always say to people in March, April, come in layers, right? Because it
Yeah.
could be in later on in the evening a little bit cooler, but certainly during the day you may even be wearing a t-shirt, something like that.
Bring a sweater and also bring a rain jacket just in case. I mean, they
For
have
sure.
these these foldable rain jackets now. Bring that. They have the small little umbrellas too for like $6 over here. You can buy them, the pop-up ones. But bring a sweater and bring like a rain slicker. I think it's a good thing
Yeah.
to bring. You don't have to bring a big heavy winter coat from New England. You're not going to need that.
Driving from Syracuse to Cefalù, which route would you take? Any places we should stop along the way? Let me address the where to stop, and then Alfred wants to address the what route to take. For
Yep.
you're talking the East Coast. So we're going up to Syracuse, and you enter the province of Catania. And so, of course, you have downtown Catania, which is very nice. Up by us, Citrezza, Castello is very nice. Driving up, you could hop off, visit Taormina, and all those little towns in the province of Messina. Um, Going up to Cefalù, perhaps you could even go up and visit and stop in the city of Messina and see at noon, visit that beautiful clock that plays the Ave Maria right at noon, right in the center at Cathedral. I mean, there's a lot of little routes you could do. You can hop off and do some Etna towns and then get back on the highway. So it depends if you want to do it all in one day. Lots of places you can stop. Al, what route would you take?
If they want to get directly from Cefalù to where they're going instead
No,
of Cusa.
Siracusa. No, Siracusa to Cefalù.
Okay, if they want to go from Syracuse directly to Cefalù, what they're going to take there's an autostrada. It's the A18. You're going to take the A18 and head towards Catania. About 20 miles on the autostrada, you're going to see the A19. It says Palermo. So you're going to initially start on the A18 towards Catania. Then you're going to swing on the A19 to Palermo. Okay. You got to go on that thing for about 100 miles. Okay. It's a beautiful highway. There's a great place to stop. What's the name of that? Auto Grill. Stop at the Auto Grill for a little break over there,
For sure.
halfway through. And then off that highway, there'll be a big, huge sign. You can't miss it. It says Cefalù. So basically, it's 3 super highways that you go. Probably take you about a little under 2 hours to get there from Syracuse.
But I mean, you could do that. That's a more direct, or you can veer off and visit some of the towns I
Yeah, I'm just
mentioned.
saying, if you
You
want
could
a
also
direct route,
go
that's a direct route.
right, and you can also go, Alfred, up to Catania, then in to Enna, Caltanissetta, and then go up to Palermo, and then go east.
Well, listen, Esther, you're like Massimo. Both you guys get, no offense, you both get lost in a circle. So on either way, if you have Google Maps, just plug it in. If you're renting a car, program it. It'll be all set. But the way that I was talking, there are 10 million ways to get there. But I just
Exactly.
said, boom, 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 3 highways are there. And then you
Yeah.
can do what you want.
Yeah.
I was only
Awesome.
kidding, Esther, I know you don't get, I think it's more of a oblong or not a circle though. Maybe it's a obtuse triangle you may get lost, but not a circle for sure. You and Massimo,
We have
no.
people here from Australia. We have people here from all
Ah,
over the US. We have people here even from Sicily. So thank you so much for watching. Okay, we're going to be here for a few more minutes. We covered a lot of topics in these 35 minutes. Next week, Alfred is going to have some very important information for you on citizenship and so forth. And Al, what else do you want to say?
well,
We even
listen,
have people here from the next.
I received the last month about 100 emails, okay? And for me to answer 100 emails, I would have to sit in front of my computer, which, by the way, has died a terrible death. But I would have to sit in front of my cell phone answering emails to people who I don't know about one of three topics. The first topic is the so-called minor rule that just exploded and has ruined the hopes and dreams of a lot of people trying to get juris sanguinis through blood here. That's number one. So I talked about that. The second one is the 1948 rule, is a background for you, which
Mhm.
means you could use your female line. Before that, it was cut off if that person was born prior to 48. And then finally, on the elective residency visa, the new passive income requirements, which basically, which doubled, all right? So it's destroyed people. There's a lot of
Yes.
misinformation out there. So I asked Esther, I says, you know what? You think I should
So
do one? I
perfect.
mean,
So next week we're gonna have
yeah, so I'm
an
gonna get 25
entire
minutes on
show
that.
on
She
that.
has it, she's editing it. It could be
That'll be
helpful.
next week.
What?
I think everything in that show is going to be really important for those who want to
Yeah.
get their citizenship, and that
And
will be next week.
it's not a
Until then,
solicitation, by the way, for business. I don't do that. If somebody wants a 1948 case, we both can refer them to good reputable law, two good reputable law firms we can do. What I do with Massimo, excuse me, is we assist in the relocation here. Houses, buying house, selling a house, getting documents, those type of things. But I'm not going into court here with Massimo on a 1948 case because I don't trust the judicial system and the goalpost keeps on moving like this every day practically, thanks to the Ministry of the Interior. So that's not going to happen. So that's
all
what I
right,
want to say about
honey,
that.
I can't wait to see you next week. And I'll see you guys online. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your week, everyone. And I'm looking forward to being back to Sicily and seeing you. And I'll see you guys on another video. Ciao, Alfredo.
Thank you very much for tuning in today. Can you do me a favor though? Please, as Esther and as Pete says, like the video. And if you know somebody that may be interested in what we're doing, if you can share it. And the most important thing is join our community. For $1.99, that little community, Esther does updates and stuff like that. That's now paying for over 30% of the overhead that to produce all these videos that we're doing, almost 470 of them now, for $1.99 a month. So if you can there's a button. She always goes like this. Just press the button. It says join. I'm doing it
Good
today.
job, honey.
And
Okay.
that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much. Benedigo.
Thank you, Jennifer Page, for being a new member.
There you
Ciao and
go.
buona domenica.
Okay. Ciao, ciao.